Sir.
All right, everybody, welcome. This is JRock, your host, and we are live here in Houston, Texas with the Houston Trade House. Welcome to everybody from around the world. And we want to get started by looking at something that we've been eyeing for, well, I've been eyeing for a few weeks, and it is this U.S. dollar Mexican peso right here. It has been on a tear. So I'm just going to click on this chart. And one of the things that it has been doing is going straight up the last 3 months. And so we've been trying to time a top and thinking that it's going to pull way back and come back to 18, probably somewhere down here, 1850, give or take, maybe even 18 or all the way down here to 1750. That's what I'd love to see. But if you look way back over here, as I was saying, this long bar right here that you see, the bar is over. That was when Trump was elected and the peso lost a lot of value against the U.S. dollar, went straight up, came down, and then went all the way up here, almost it went to 22 pesos for one U.S. dollar, and then we had a big pullback. We bounced right off of this 34 moving average. So obviously you know that I teach a lot on moving averages. It's what I learned trading professionally. And as I've seen over the years, price respects moving averages. And no, there's no ifs, ands, or big booties about it. You can look at all different indicators and try different things, but when it comes down to it, I don't need lines on a screen. I don't need horizontal lines or channel trend lines. I just use moving averages. They work fine. I'll use RSI, and now I've been getting a little interest in the Ichimoku cloud, and we are going to start using that more and more. On my phone, it kind of throws a little bit in there. Looks really difficult. It's kind of difficult to see when you put it on the phone. Well, this isn't too bad on the monthly time frame. But the monthly time frame says we are going to keep going up. And I figure that one of the other things, I don't know if y'all had heard this before or learned anything about it. There was another guy that actually told me that when you have a wick like we have here, a big wick on the upside or on the downside, that it doesn't stay uncovered. That at some point the market makers are going to bring it back and they're going to close it at least 75%. A candle will close at least 75% of that wick, and then they'll bring it back down. Well, this has been over a year. That was in January of 2017 when that took place. So that's been a year and a half. So that wick has been uncovered when we had a big move to the upside. And so a lot of people, probably the market makers that were exchanging currency or letting people get out of their sell position, because the market makers have to make the market. And if you don't know anything about that, market makers, you need to go read up on it. Pretty simple. Market makers, they facilitate the buys and the sells, and that's when you see the spread. That's they're doing. They get part of that spread. Liquidity providers get part of that spread. Brokers get part of that spread. So here we've been going straight up. Well, as you see, we had a major exhaustion candle right there in the middle of your screen. It went straight up and then came down. That's kind of what I'm looking for now. I thought this month would be an exhaustion. I thought we were at it, but it hasn't happened yet. So this thing could go to 21 or 22. And so one of the things I was listening to was the news and things that Trump was saying, and it's pretty bad for Mexico. That's why I feel like this thing would continue to go up. I thought it would maybe come back to 20 and then turn around and go back up, but it hasn't done that. It continues to push up. Let's go to the week time frame, and you see it's still holding that 5-period moving average. Now, we have gone above the cloud. The cloud is still saying that we should be coming down, even though there's support right there at that flat line right here. That's a support level because it's flat. So that is right around, let's see, 1970, 1975, give or take. A little support level, but look how we are holding that 5-week moving average. Now we're up above it a little bit, but if you see over here, we came way above, and then we jumped over to the next, and we went straight up, stayed way above it, then we pulled back. So for 3 weeks, we went straight up, and we did not come back to the 5 until 4 weeks later. So here we are. This is the first week. We're off of the 5. The next week, we'll probably open up, maybe pull back just a tad, and then go up higher. and then open up another week and then go up higher. So I think this thing could go to 2022 again, maybe 25. It's all based on you got to look at the economy of the country. And we know that the US dollar is strengthening and the Mexican peso is weakening. They have a presidential election that's coming up where, like I said, they've got undesirable candidates from what I hear. That is kind of like what we had in our most previous election. So they've got to make a choice, and a lot of corruption you've got to deal with. Well, when you have that, the currency is going to go down. Well, one of the things that I was looking at when I said, this thing may not pull back, I went to this currency right here. This is the Turkish lira. And if we go to the month time frame, that thing has been straight up for years. Since we got to go all the way back to 2008. That thing has gone straight up. No pullback. Well, maybe a slight little pullback right there. That's the biggest one that I could find. And then it's sideways and up. And here we are way up. Well, the spreads are big on this, but actually the spreads are bigger on the U.S. Mexican peso than they are on the Turkish lira if you can trade that. But it looks like it's going to keep going up because the Turkish lira is losing value. So here's the day time frame. That looks like that's going to go up. So that's why I said, don't just think just because it's run so hard, there's a reason it's called an exotic pair. The exotic pairs were cryptos before cryptocurrency came into effect. Aldo, you say a socialist is going to win the Mexican election in Mexico? Wouldn't that be something? Interesting. Well, obviously I'm a capitalist, but that's because I believe in owning business and working hard for your money and trying to make it work for you and get less people off of on welfare. But we won't go into politics. I try to stay out of it. So when you have a country that is having an economic situation, you've got to look at what their currency is going to do. So we kind of forecast and say that it's going to continue to have problem, the peso against the U.S. dollar. Now, here's the day time frame. You would think that it'd probably come all the way back to 2054, which it could, drop all the way back here, maybe a little bit above 2057 or 2060, come right off of that 5, and then go all the way back up, and we end up by tomorrow evening or in London session at 21. So if it comes down, it may be a great buying opportunity. I've been trying to sell it, and we've made some money here and there, but I've been taking hits because it keeps going up, and there is no pullback. That's the day time frame. It is holding the 5 and the 10. If I were to take everything else off the screen, it's holding the 5 and the 10 for the last few weeks. Very solid, very strong trend. Drop down to the H4 time frame. Look at that. If I took everything off the screen, let me just take the cloud off because that does kind of get a little bit more than I need. Well, if you look at that, ever since we started this run on the 29th of May, we have held at least the 34. So we've gone up all the way and we held the 34. That's why it looks like it. We just had a breakaway candle today out of all of that consolidation. That's why I said, I don't know if y'all were watching when I posted in the chat room, I said, is it just me or does anybody else think that the U.S. Mexican peso is going to go up? And it went up, and then I did a short at 2070 or somewhere around there, and it came down a little bit, and then it turned and went back up. So it's not going to relent, I really don't think. So great buying opportunity. Let's jump over to another currency pair we've been looking at, and that's EuroCAD. Now, the euro, we were saying the euro index was weakening. And if you look, I drew a couple trend lines in here, and I say that is what it's looking like hitting the bottom. This is on the month time frame. So we've got room to come down. We're under the 5 and the 10 currently, but we're pushing up. But we've already got 2 major red candles previous the last 2 months, April and May. And we're in June. The current green candle is June, but that could turn red just as quick. And we could come all the way down to 145, 144, all the way down here and touch off of this trend line. Probably not for this month. Maybe by the next month we come all the way down here. give or take. But it looks like we're getting close to a major selling opportunity on this pair. Let's go to the week time frame. Now, on the week time frame, you see we bounce in between that channel, up and down, up and down. But those are long-term swing trades. Currently, we are in a pullback. So we've fallen from 161 way up there. We've come down. We traded sideways one little bit, those 3 candles. Once we broke under the 10, we traded sideways to the 5. We wicked above it just a little bit, and then we dropped off. Came all the way to 34, then all the way to 50. We have held the 50, and now once we held that, we bounced up into the 34 and the 10. So that's where we're at right now. That's why I've been calling a sell at that level and saying that I think we are really going to come way down, that we could end up the week way down here probably by 151. It may not be a bearish engulfing. It would have to come down below it, that previous candle, because you see we gapped above it, and that gap has not closed. And we came all the way up here on the week. So we should come way back down here, and then I think we'll come all the way down to 149, 148. Currently on the week time frame, 149 is the current support right here, give or take 149. But I think we'll come all the way down and we'll bounce right off the 100-week moving average. That's that blue line. And then we could come down to the trend line after we bounce off of that. So great selling opportunity still for ECAD, except for the day time frame. Look at the day time frame. We're sitting right on top of that 5. So that's why I say it looks like we're about to go up. And if you're in a sell, it's a possibility that you want to be out of your sell and ride it up, because it's going to go way up here. You want to be in a buy. It'll probably go way up here to 153.40. It could come all the way and touch the 50-day moving average, 153.47. It could wick above it a little bit, 153.50. So I think on the day time frame we'll go up, and then we'll probably pull back just like we did on this previous candle, yesterday's candle. Went up and then came back down. So that's what it's looking like, that it's holding. But we are going to come back down. So we're getting a lot of volatility intraday going up and down, and it hasn't given us a major breakdown because we're still holding the 5-day moving average. Very strong indicator. But once we break down below that 5-day moving average, look at that. Once you break down below the 5, it may bounce back up, but the bottoms are going to fall out eventually. So if you can catch it somewhere, you know, like I like to do a lot of top fishing or bottom fishing, try to time a top. Well, it doesn't always work out. You got to use limited risk when you're going to do that. Well, once it does drop, it may have a little bounce here, drop, a little bounce here, and that's where people get shaken out, is when it drops and bounces. And that's what we've been doing. When we go to the intraday time frame, let's go look at the 4-hour. Look at all of that. Up, down, up, down, up, down. I think they got a song about that. All I do is win. That's it. Up, down, up, down. All right, so a lot of chopping, and this is on the 4-hour time frame. When we go to the 1-hour time frame, my goodness, that's why people are saying they're putting this in the category with GJ, bipolar, and UM is the same way, bipolar. But an exotic pair, you got to expect that. It's exotic for a reason. It's going to be crazy and all over the place. But if you look at H4 time frame, we have broken down over here a couple days ago. We broke down below the 100. I'm sorry, on the 1-hour time frame. Broke below the 100. We tested under it again, so we're weakening. We got one more chance to pop. We may go right back up and put a double top in at 153.41 right up here. We could go all the way back up here. That'd be a great selling opportunity again. So it may turn back here, but if we break above this, pull back, and then we're going to go up higher. That's what I expect with Euro Canada to do. 30-minute time frame. Same scenario. It's kind of putting in it's a bull flag pattern, but we know the longer time frame is a breakdown, because you can see how it has it here. We hit a top, came down, pulled back, came down, we pulled back. We're going to come down again and pull back. We'll come way down to 148, 149, 147. I think we'll come all the way down to 140, give or take. Okay. And then you see your RSI down on the bottom is still kind of mid-range, a little bit above that 50 level, 54. So that should be coming down. So a little bit of a pullback. Tokyo opened about 45 minutes ago, so we should get some action here pretty soon. 2 pip spread going on there. So a little action. Let's see, do we have any news that came out? Let me double check that. Australian dollar in about an hour. Just somebody speaking. All right, and then at 3:30 my time, which is about let's see, 8 o'clock for about 7.5 hours, the pound is going to get a CPI year over year. A lot of folders there, PPI, and then the euro minor folders. Then the US dollar, big day tomorrow, starting at 7:30 a.m. PPI, 9:30 a.m. crude oil inventories. You notice our gas prices have been going up. Fed funds rate, FOMC statement, press conference, big day tomorrow, it looks like, and then Australia tomorrow night. So U.S. dollar is going to be one to play tomorrow for some nice volatility. All right. What is something, you guys have anything in mind y'all want to look at?
No. Those CAD.
Huh?
You CAD.
USD?
USD CAD.
Oh. Not EuroCAD.
No, not Euro CAD.
Okay.
You CAD. USD CAD.
Let's see. What I had in here. Say that again.
Still on this.
Oh, come on.
Walk away with a small wound. Put a bandage over it.
I'll see that here. Should have been on that list.
USD CAD.
Right.
It's resistance.
There you go.
It's triple top strong.
All right. So U.S. dollar against Canada. Who do you think's going to win? Right now, based on the political climate, who's going to win in this pair? What's going to take place? U.S. all day, baby. Trump ain't playing around. Y'all can say what you want about him, but he's getting deals done, and the business is taking place. When you look at what's been happening, they've got a feud right now between the Canadian Prime Minister and Trump, and saying that he didn't want the Canadian Prime Minister said he didn't want to be bullied and not going to be pushed around and insulted and all of these things. Well, when Trump laid the facts out on the table and we started getting the news reports about what it was all about, well, Canada's charging the United States major tariffs, and it put the hurt on dairy farmers. And when I started reading up on some news, it turns out a lot of dairy farmers went out of business when Canada pushed their tariff 270%. Come on, man. Come on. What do you think's going to happen? So now the tables are turned. Tables are turned. Canada's about to lose in gross domestic product, GDP. What does that mean? That they're going to start having an economic problem. That means that anything with Canada in it is probably going to go the other way. Well, you know, we just looked at EuroCAD. Well, that's a different story. EuroCAD, we know the euro is also having problems. Italy is facing bankruptcy. France is having financial problems. What of these other countries in the European Union that are having problems? Friend, if you want to learn what to invest in or be a part of, what trades are going to go your way, you need to look at the economic situation of the countries, read the news, even look at their charts. They say a picture is worth 1,000 words. Well, a chart is worth $1,000. So you can just look at a chart and foretell or say what is going on with the economic situation of a country based on their dollar index. Like when I have the US dollar index up, we tell you what's going on. We have been in the last, let's see, these are month over month. So is that a month time frame? Yeah. So in 2016, we were coming down. The dollar was coming down. And people kept saying, why? Well, one of the things that I was considering was because of the debt that our nation holds, 19 trillion, it's now at $21 trillion. Well, how do you make the debt that people hold over your nation, how do you make their debt worth less? You do what the other countries are doing. You devalue your currency. And that's why China was getting so ticked off, because they hold the majority of the debt of our nation. And when we started bringing out, you see right in the middle of my screen, the dollar, all those red candles coming way down. Well, when you start making our dollar less valuable, that means that their debt they hold is worth less. Pretty simple. So that's what was ticking them off, and they're saying, we're going to dump the dollar. Well, go ahead. They're going to buy gold. Okay, well, go ahead. Because the trade imbalance, it's not fair to a certain country when you got other countries that are having major trade issues and trade imbalance. So anyway, getting back to the point, the euro is suffering because of their financial woes. It all goes back to socialism and the concept that they are putting more people on welfare and giving to more, and you have less taxpayers, less people that are innovators, less people that are working and making a vibrant economic situation. Well, then your currency is eventually going to be devalued. You're going to go bankrupt. Look at the state of California. Look what those guys out there have been doing. And the whole state is in a crisis. So all you got to do is look at the situation and say, hey, if that's what's going on and that's what's happening, this is what is going to happen if they don't get off that path. Well, now what they say, the roosters, the chickens are coming home to roost because of the entirety of the situation for the last decade, 15, 20 years that they've been doing in their country, and now they're going to start paying for it. So the United States dollar is going to increase. Right now we're at a crossroads on the chart. On the month time frame, the dollar is sitting right under the 50, but it looks like it may trade sideways and push up higher. Let's zoom out. I could do a Fibonacci retracement on that, start from probably that run there, and see we're still in a bullish trend. We've come back, but we haven't come that far back. Now we're pushing back up. So we'd have to clear that 34 moving average, which is my yellow line. Once we clear that, we'll be good. But if we trade sideways and start pushing up higher, the dollar is going to keep going up. Well, guess why the dollar can now start going up? Because we've been dealing with China. We've been dealing with these other countries on the trade imbalance. And that's why we're saying, hey, you guys are posing unfair trade imbalance on us with your tariffs for us exporting our product. Well, we're going to do the same thing to you. Any product coming out of China, any product coming from Canada or Mexico, we're going to tack on some tariffs, and you're going to start paying the price. Well, it's a sad situation for the countries that are poor because their governments are crooked. Go back to UCAD. Where did I see that? I don't know why it's not on that list, but it's on this one. Okay, so the US dollar against Canada is pushing up right now. We just got to clear that 34 period moving average, and we should push up. We're in a squeeze. Look at that. That's a bull flag pattern. You should be able to see that flag just by looking at it. There's your long flagpole and then your flag shape. The 200, you could bring the 200, that red line going across the screen, up a little bit on the back end to connect the dip. I can't do my annotation because for some reason it's not working. But let's see. I think it breaks out. I think it busts above that 34 and we keep going. We ride that 5 all the way up. So UCAD, strong to go up. Here's the week time frame. Boom. Solid. Look at that, Julius. Holding that 5. We broke above the 100. We're going to keep going up. We're at 130.21. We could go to 131 by the end of the week. That's a good 80 pips. We could go to 132. We could break out. We're close to a breakout. Let's look at the day time frame. Really choppy. A lot of ups and downs, pullbacks. So that's kind of what's shaking people up and saying, well, is it going up? Is it going down? Just look at your moving averages. Look at your trend. The trend is up in the last several weeks. We had that one big pullback. I don't know what that was all about, where we came straight down between February and middle of March. A big pullback. And then we picked up. Now we're heading all the way back up. So we may get a pullback to the 5 today. That would be probably about right here, 129.83. That's about 40 pips down. If it comes down to 129.83, that's a great buying opportunity. Buy the crap out of it because it's going to go back up. That's what I see on UCAD. 129.83 would be somewhere right in this area. So it could come back to that level. On the H4 time frame, it could. Doesn't look like it will based on the H4 time frame. We're getting a lot of strength. Push up. Okay, that's UCAD. Solid. Hour time frame looks good. All right, let's see. Yeah, I actually can't type. I'm sorry, Deborah. I don't know. You'll have to have somebody. She says she can't hear, so I don't know if she needs to. If y'all can type and let her know to take that mute off her microphone or whatever, or connect by audio. New Zealand, Canada, that's a slow mover. What would possess you to want to be in that? Oh, you like turtle racing. Gotcha. New Zealand, Canada. Do I even have that? There we go. I will not do GJ. Don't ever ask me again. GJ is crazy. You want to lose money, you trade GJ. It's too much up and down. New Zealand, Canada. Looks like it might be getting ready to turn the corner here. But let's back up. Month time frame looks good for a move up. We got a little resistance overhead. If we clear that 91.74 area and we pop above that, we may keep going up. Week time frame looks good. We got clear skies ahead to go all the way up here. 92.42. We just got to clear that month time frame, but that looks good. We're on an uptrend. So Canada is going down. New Zealand is going up. Because if this chart goes up, that's bad news for Canada. Day time frame, we're holding the 5, and we got a little resistance at the 100, 91.600. So once we clear that, we may keep going up. We've almost got the 10 that's catching up right there. So we may go up from here. A little consolidation before we go to the next level. So great buying opportunity, New Zealand, Canada. So if you buy this, then in about 5 years, you'll have $1,000. Okay, New Zealand, Canada. Looks like it wants to come down on H4 time frame, but we're in a little bit of a pullback. But it could surprise us and pop up. So it's still got strength, a little consolidation, that's all. At some point, it's going to pop up. All right. Let's see. GU for my man Gabe. I think I said GU was going to go up at some point. Let's see. The month time frame does not look good, but we still have a green. It's kind of like a green hammer, inverted hammer right now. Month time frame doesn't look good for GU. Looks like it's going to go down. The week time frame, same thing. We've got major resistance overhead at the 50, and the bottom is down here at the 100, 130, 76. So GU to go down on the week time frame, 133.65 on the day time frame. Oh yeah, that's ugly. We could bounce up a little bit on the day time frame. We could come up here to 133.86. That's about 20 pips up. If it goes up to there or anything above that, get in for a sell. That's what I would do. But that is rolling on down. We're getting ready to tumble. The bottom's going to fall out of GU. We're going down to 131. H4 might get a little bump up on H4, like I said. 133.75 could come up here a little bit more, but we are going to break down eventually. So that's an area of consolidation we're in right now, kind of. GU. Little upside, major downside. EJ. Let's see what EJ is saying. Euro against the yen. Looks like it's going to come down on the month time frame that we just pushed up, but we could come all the way back down and have a nice red candle. On the week time frame, yeah, we're at resistance. We got support way down, 125, 125.70-ish. So it looks like we pushed up into resistance. Great selling opportunity to me on the week time frame. And let's see. Do something real quick. I get blown up by notifications. Let's see. All right, day time frame. We got a little upside, 130.38. So about 50 potential pips to go up, but not much more downside for Euro Jappy. So I think it could go up a little bit and then it could tumble. And what if you look at the over here, see when it came down, it bounced up and into these, and then finally one day, boom, it just bottom fell out. So that's what is likely to happen. We'll look at when we bounced up. So we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 candles. Here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We're on the 11th candle. But in the consolidation phase, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. Let me think here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 candles in the consolidation phase. So once we hit that level, we're on the 5th candle. So maybe one more, and I'm going by when you had your pullback. 1, 2, 3, 4 green candles, and it pulled back to the purple line. And then you had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 candles before the bottom fell out on that 7th candle right there. So here we had all these candles that pulled up, and then this started your consolidation. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're in the 5th candle, so possibly the next 1 or 2 candles, the bottom's going to fall out. That's what I think. Could happen. Could be today or tomorrow. The next day, it could be 4 more candles before it does that on the day time frame. But eventually, Euro is going to fall out. Okay? That's what I'm seeing. Limited upside. Major downside. If it gets to 130.38, great selling opportunity. AJ, another horse, another one that I don't like to trade because it's so slow. To me, that looks like we're at resistance. Bottom's going to fall out. Once the Japanese yen turns and starts going up, the Japanese yen index has been going down. Once that sucker turns and starts going up, lights out for AJ, CJ, UJ, anything else against it. So I think this will likely come down. Yeah, we're still in a little resistance area. May have another few days or another week or so before the bottom falls out, but we're pretty close. Top side over here, anywhere between 84, let's see, 84.10 and 84.60 right now. That's the top side in between that 34 and where we currently are at. Daytime frame may bounce up a little bit. We're real close to a fallout. But we could go up a little bit further, like I said, 84.60 top side. So we're at 83.60. So it's got 100 points, 100 pips possible to go up. Yeah, H4, we could put in some upside. So potential upside about 100 pips. Much more downside once you get up to that level. If it goes up to 84.60. And this is what I'm saying. You know, hopefully somebody was writing all this stuff down, because I'm just sitting here moving through the charts. I'm not writing this stuff down. So that's where I said if I had somebody taking notes and putting down everything that I say, it would really help us out. Nobody has sent me anything and said, hey, this is what I've done from the meeting last time you talked. Come on, man. Come on, man. How many people we got on this call? 60, 57. Surely somebody could help me out. And that would help us out week to week, where we could see what I've been saying, because each time I do the same analysis, sometimes 2 or 3 times, 4 times in the same week, I'd like to go back and say, well, go look at the spreadsheet. This is what I said 2 days ago. What's it doing right now? I said top side is 84.60, and it's at 84.40. Well, we're close to a major sell. All right. Help me out. That's AJ. See what else we got. Oh, yeah, we got a question about lot sizes and pips with a Mexican que paso. All right, let's go back to Mexican peso. Let's see what that thing's doing. Okay, so I wish I had this thing that would work. I don't know why. Maybe I have to uninstall and reinstall Zoom to get that thing to work. But anyway. Do you have your, one of y'all have the MetaTrader 4 app up? Yeah. That I could do a screen share and do a draw. Mine won't work. I make you I'll do a co-host and then use the app. Huh? Yeah, anyone. Which one are you? Let's see. Are you tied in already? Okay. Yeah. Turn your notifications off. Don't want any of your people texting you. So give me 1 second. I'm going to try to get a... all right. Yeah, so let me make you a host on here. Come on. It'll pop up. Let's just type in here. Are you not on Zoom? Okay. Oh, maybe I gotta do it from here. Yeah, go back to the Zoom and then let's see. Just turn your light up so I can see that. No, I'm sorry, not Zoom. The share content, and then where's your? Let's see.
You gotta have the same. You gotta be on the same connection of internet, right?
Oh. First time set up. Co-host already.
What are you trying to share?
Let me make sure you're your co-host. Yep. So you should be able to share. And then where's your MT4? That's what I need. Should be able to share your screen here.
You gotta have the same internet connection.
Swipe down from the top right corner and press record. We are almost there. Just hang tight. Let me pause this real quick. Okay, so we're currently looking at the Mexican peso, the US dollar Mexican peso. I'm looking at 20.40644. And I'm typing it on the chat screen right here, 20.40644. That is the price, how many pesos for one US dollar. And the 20, obviously, is your whole number. And the number after the decimal, so the first one, let me put on here. Actually, I should have done a little bit different, but that's all right. So you have the 20 as your whole number. And the first one after the decimal is your what? Anybody? Well, don't type it. Let me just type it. Okay. So that's your tens, and then the 0.40 is your ones. That's the second one, and then the 0.406 is your tenth, and then the 0.4064 is your 100th. 0.40644 is your 1,000th. And that is called your micro pip. And actually, I should have put pip by the 100. So the fourth number from the decimal place, or the second number from the right on a 5-digit number after the decimal place, the fifth digit on the right is your micro pip. The fourth one is your 100th place. That is called your pip. So the pip, actually, let me say this real quick. Micro pip is what's called 1 basis point. So when you hear people talking in currency terms or in dollar amounts, they will say how many basis points. They're talking about the fifth number from the decimal place, the 1,000th of a penny. So it takes 10 basis points. 10 basis points. Let me do the typing. Hang on. Let me do the typing. 10 basis points equals 1 pip. Okay? And the pip is in the 100th of a penny spot. Okay? All right. Now, how many, when I say the pips as far as the Mexican peso is an exotic pair, so it moves almost like cryptocurrency. Because you see how many pips, if I were to go from, let's see, you can't see that. Where are we at? What did I say? 40644. Somewhere right in there. All right. 40644, right. Somewhere right in there. Anyway. 20.40644 to get to, if we were to go up here, let's say 20.60699. 20.60699. Make sure I got that right. So how many pips is that? Well, you're going to take off the last number. You don't include the basis point or the micro pip. So what I'm going to look at is I'm going to go, I'm not going to include the 20 because it's already on there. So I'm basically going to turn it around. I'm going to say 6069 minus 4064. 6069 minus 4064. So how many is that? 2005. See that? That's how many pips it is from down here, 40644, wherever I had it, 40644 right in there, to get all the way up here to 6099. 60699. So that didn't take very long to get from there to there, 2,000 pips, because of the way the currency moves. It's an exotic pair, and it moves a whole lot different. Now, the calculation is way different because of the weight of the currency. The Mexican peso is a lot less. So it's not like a 1-for-1. Like with the euro to the US dollar is 1.17 something, $1.17. This is 20. So the currency calculation is a lot different. Actually, let me see if I can show you here, and you will see what I'm talking about. Hang on a second. Okay, and we're going to scroll up here and look at the inverted rate. Let's see on this one. Well, it's saying like 4.8 cents for 1 peso is basically what the conversion rate is. But I thought it would have that calculation on there to show you. You'd actually have to go to another currency converting calculator. Anyway, I thought I would be able to see it on there, but it's not on there. Anyway, when you have the pips, let's say you do a 0.10 lot, and I have another video on this that I did on cryptocurrency a while back. It's on my JRock channel. In the pinned message, you got to scroll down and it'll say cryptocurrency education. So pip calculation, or let's say lot size calculation, and many of you should already know this. Lot calculation, 0.01 equals 10 cents per pip. 0.10 equals $1 per pip. 1.0 equals $10 per pip. A 10.0, which is a 10 lot, is pretty simple. $100 per pip. That's it. So when you see people throwing down a 10 lot, they're paying $100 per pip, and that thing moves 10 pips. That's $1,000. It can happen that fast. Well, you do that on crypto, or you do that on an exotic pair like the U.S. Mexican, it can move pretty quick if you're right. If you're on target, you can make a lot of money. Now, to do a 10 lot on crypto or whatever, you need $50,000 or $100,000 in your account. So be very careful, because it'll wipe you out in a heartbeat. The bottom could fall out, Trump could tweet, and it's over. But if you're on the right side, you make a lot of money. But what are the odds? It seems like more often than not, we're on the wrong side when we're going hard. Testify to that one. I'm sure many of you can. Okay, so that's how it works. And let's say if you had a 0.01 lot on this Mexican peso, you did 0.01 lot, that's 10 cents per pip, and you had, let me put another space here. We did 2005 pips times 10 cents. Well, what does that equal? $200. All you do is do 1/10. Okay, if you did 0.1, which is $1, then you'd have $2,000. You did a 1.0, you'd have $20,000. If you had 10.0, you have $200,000. Anyway, okay, it's 8:30, and we've gone quite some time, so I'm going to go ahead and pause or stop this recording. But I appreciate you guys. That's going to wrap it up for our evening here, and we didn't sorry for the technical difficulties and situation that we had, but next week hopefully we will get into some live trading. I would like to start doing some live trading on a regular basis. The Tokyo session is kind of slow, but hopefully we can make some live trades while we're on here and make some money. And I get my laptop. I got to go get another one. I don't think this one is going to be resurrected. It's got some problems. But I tried all day, frustrated. All right, guys. Well, y'all have a great evening. It was a pleasure having y'all, and we will see y'all on the rebound. See y'all soon.